Newman. I just thought of a thought. Oh boy. The thought I'd like to share. A while back, I had the opportunity to study some of the philosophers of the Enlightenment and those that had influence upon the founding fathers, school of thought, etc. So I thought I'd pull a quote from them to share tonight, and the one I decided on was from the leader of thought, John Locke, and the particular thought goes as follows. This, I think, I may at least say, that we should have a great many fewer disputes in the world, if words were taken for what they are, the signs of our ideas only, and not for things themselves. And, that's all, as any thought is, open to your interpretation, but I feel like that's a good thing to carry with us at all times. I'd also like to include a opening prayer. Our Father in heaven, we are grateful for the opportunity we have as members of this community to gather to discuss and conduct the business of the legislative body for Cache County. We're grateful for the opportunity it is for we as citizens to serve our peers and our friends and family around us, and we're grateful for the freedoms we enjoy in this land to do so. We pray for Thy Spirit to bless not only our county, our community, and the state of Utah, but as well as our nation and the world in general. We're grateful, Father, for the opportunities that Thou hast made available to us in our lives and for the experience we have of conducting our lives as free people. We pray that this peace and opportunity will continue. We give thanks for the blessings of health and strength that Thou hast bestowed upon us, and we pray that Thou will continue to be mindful of those in our community who are in need of Thy aid and could use an extra uplifting moment from someone around them. We pray for the inspiration of others that will happen. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to gather here, and we pray for a special blessing of Thy Spirit to be with us in this meeting as we conduct the business of the county. We pray for guidance in our decisions. We say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Finally, will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Those words. Okay, the first order of business is it's time to elect new council leadership. So I would open up the floor for nominations.
It is with appreciation for the service she has done that I nominate Sandy Goodlander as chair for 2026.
Second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion or any other nominations that anyone would like to make?
You accept the nomination?
I would accept that nomination. Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then it is I will take on the new chairmanship for the year and open the floor for nominations for chairperson.
Madam Chair, I'd make a motion that we nominate Catherine Buse to continue to serve as the vice chair.
I would second that with great appreciation as well.
Thank you, I'll accept.
Any other discussion or any other nominations that someone would like to make? Okay, if that's nomination closed, we'll take a vote. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right. Here we go again. And thank you all for your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of the agenda. Does anyone want to make a motion about the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, what about the minutes from the last meeting? It was the meeting we had on the 17th of December. Did anyone have a chance to look at those?
Yep, I move to approve the minutes from the December 17th council meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from December 17th. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, our county executive and our deputy county executive are not in town tonight, so they didn't contact me with anything they wanted to present. So we'll go to our items of special interest. Andrew, do you want to talk to us about the special meeting that we need to have?
Sure thing. Good evening, council. I would recommend that you all please schedule a special meeting for January 20th at 5 p.m. This Saturday, there will be a meeting that will select the replacement for Barbara's seat, the Logan number 2 seat on the county council, and by state code, that has to be ratified by the county legislative body within 7 calendar days. And this would meet that requirement. If you guys waited until your next meeting, that timeline would have elapsed, and then Bryson would have to contact the governor. It'd be a whole thing. So, yes.
He's a good guy. Come on.
So I would.
Is he on your speed dial?
So I would suggest that you all vote to schedule a meeting for January 20th at 5 p.m. And then if you guys choose to do so, per county code and state law, I will need your signatures on this. Do you guys have any questions?
I will not be in town. Is there a quorum that will be available that night?
I can make it.
I can make it.
Brother Dave?
I can make it.
That's 3. Anyone
We got
else?
4.
We got. Did Dave? You said you could.
I should be able to be there.
Mark, you and me and Keegan so far, so.
Okay,
Okay, we got a
hopefully
quorum.
Dave. Okay. All right, does someone want to make a motion then so we can take an official vote on that?
I'd make the motion that we establish or schedule the special meeting for January 20th at 5 p.m. for the appointment of the replacement for council member for Logan.
2.
2.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we schedule the special county council meeting for January 20th. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, next we have our health department.
Oh, everybody.
Our slides.
Can I borrow a pen?
Jordan Mathis with the Bear River Health Department. We're here. Trevor Cook with Bear River Mental Health is here with me as well. We're here to talk about a behavioral health integration plan that we've conducted 2 webinars with county elected leaders to review this. Can you hit slideshow there? So it's focused on an option that we feel maximizes resources and moves towards potential better health outcomes in a increasing demand for needs around behavioral health, which is inclusive primarily of mental health services and substance abuse services. So if you'll go to the next slide, that'd be great. We're kind of a unique creature. If you were on the webinar, you know we're kind of a unique creature when it comes to behavioral health in our area. I call it the Baronicorn. It exists somewhere in the mountains here in northern Utah. If you'll go to the next, there's just a little thing that says Baronicorn. But in all reality, we are the only, recently you created the United Local Health Department. We're the only jurisdiction in the state that has that classification. That's where local health department, the local substance abuse authority, and the local mental health authority were all put under one umbrella of an interlocal agreement with the expectation that we would then contract those services working with Bear River Mental Health to provide those. One of the other areas that were unique, as we talked about before, go ahead to the next, is this concept of Medicaid capitation. The counties are on the hook to provide match dollars for Medicaid for substance abuse and mental health services. And one of the ways other jurisdictions have been able to help to manage and control the amount of match dollars that are required for the counties to match under Medicaid is to capitate those systems. both mental health and substance abuse. Mental health has been capitated for about 20 plus years, something like that, right? 32. So several decades. We're still at a fee for service, and so we wanted to, as we were looking at trying to bring things together better, we wanted to capitate the substance abuse as well. And that brought up some complications in trying to figure out how do we kind of work our system, our unique system that we have. And we came to, we focused our efforts on some priorities. I just want to hit on those, and then I'll show go ahead to the next. Once again, we really stayed focused on those health outcomes for individuals and populations. We wanted to streamline the oversight. We wanted to maximize that funding, staff, and other resources, including reducing the elimination of duplication of effort. We really wanted to integrate behavioral health and substance abuse services, particularly for those that have dual diagnosis. We do have populations that it's like the chicken or the egg. Are they suffering from a mental health issue, or are the drugs causing the mental health issue, or are they treating their mental health issue with drugs? All those things, and how do we help those individuals? And then increase coordination of care with our partners. We really wanted to be able to focus that and figure out how we can best do that. We went in that webinar, we went through several different models, but the model that we really landed on was a full integration model, which is displayed here. Essentially what this would do is it would still put the legal obligation for contracting with Department of Health and Human Services for those authority contracts, meaning the counties are the substance abuse and mental health authority, but they've delegated that responsibility to contract and oversee those responsibilities to the health department. We would still have that responsibility, but we would essentially look at passing the majority of those dollars through, and then streamlining the capitation portion. As Trevor said, they've been doing it for 32 years. For us to try to duplicate and figure out how to do that on the substance abuse side would be difficult, and it would be a waste of resources, where they have some economies of scale where they could bring that on and make that happen in our community on the substance abuse side. So they would capitate and be that single provider. What that means is that the current providers that are in the system under the health department would move under the umbrella of that provider that would provide mental health and substance abuse treatment in our community, and be that single entry point for those partners and have better opportunity for coordination of care for individuals and be responsible for those outcomes. When we talk about the streamlining of the oversight is still the responsibility of the counties. To have that oversight, that's where the connection with Bear River Health Department comes into play. We have elected leaders on our Board of Health. We still have the Behavioral Health Advisory Council, which is an agent of the counties, and would be directed underneath the Bear River Health Department, would provide input into the area plan that would give guidance to Bear River Mental Health in how those services are to be delivered. So there'd still be the governance and oversight that's needed under the law, input from the counties on how things are done. But what it would do is it would try to coordinate that and bring it all together. Go to the next slide. It does come, one thing that I wanted to make sure before there's consideration given by the legislative body is we did talk in that about a $250,000 shortfall. That's a result of how we've structured ourselves. The health department has a process of allocating some of its administrative costs off of each contract this would mean we're moving our largest contract to Bear River Mental Health. And so we need to be able to still cover some of those administration costs that we can't get rid of, and like costs of buildings and things like that. And so we would be looking, not this year, but next year, to working with the 3 counties to figure out how we can overcome that shortfall. But we do feel like the added benefit in coordination of care and everything like that, and the streamlining of services and oversight, having one group that helps to oversee and hopefully keep the growth in Medicaid match in check for the counties is a benefit, long-term benefit to our communities. So we're recommending this to you as the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Authority. We're going to be going to the other 2 counties as well. But that's our recommendation for your consideration. If you'll hit through the next 2 slides, this is just reminding you that I have that responsibility under code. But if it's approved, like I said, we'll take it to the other counties. It will require us to go through a rewrite of the contracts that we have with the Bear River Mental Health, and a rewrite of the interlocal agreement. Not a huge one, but it will make some minor changes that will have to come back in front of you as the legislative bodies of the counties for consideration. So it wouldn't be the last time we talked about this.
So Jordan, I know some people might have some questions, and we asked some during the webinar. Do you want us to vote on this tonight? Like, are we on a time frame where we need to vote on this tonight for you to get this done?
We do have a pretty tight timeline. I mean, if it were to be on the next meeting, I can't get in front of Rich County until February, because they only meet once a month. So if you do want to table it and think of questions and have us come back to your next meeting in January, you have another one in January, right? Then it wouldn't stall us out. So.
Okay, I don't know how many of you were able to listen to that webinar. If you have further questions, do you want to ask Jordan some questions, or do we want to discuss it and take a vote tonight, or table it? You guys let me know. Yes, Dave.
The 250,000 is distributed amongst all 3 entities, right? What is Cache County's? I know we have the largest piece of the pie.
Is it 65%?
Piece of the pie,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, it's distributed based off of population, so we just have to get the ratio of what the current population is, and that'd be your percentage. I think it's closer to maybe like 75 to 80%.
Let's
Of
do
that.
the recommendation during the summer at Bear Lake, and then they get a bigger
I was gonna
portion.
say this.
Let's count the residents.
Yes.
Do the summer count over there. And then these dollars, they will basically be part of the budget ongoing funding that's got to remain within that budget, probably
Yeah.
almost in perpetuity.
Yep.
So
Okay. What other questions?
And so that would be something we'd work into the 2027 budget.
2027. Yes.
yeah, you can cover it clear till, through this year.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to compliment Trevor and Jordan and Josh Greer and those at the health department that have really, when they first brought this up, it was 500,000 was the shortfall, and I think they've sharpened their pencils and figured out ways to make that work for everybody. And I feel like it'll really improve the outcome, the health outcomes in our county, especially for those that are sometimes suffering the worst. So.
I want to compliment how working together is, it's really, it's refreshing just to see how everything's working together to get it put together right, that helps both organizations, to help the people and everything. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's really I think you ought to be complimented. Both organizations need to be complimented heavy for it.
I agree.
Thanks.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion, or do we want to table
I
it?
just had a question too, and this might not be for tonight, and I guess if we vote, then it won't matter at all, but, do you have a use case of someone going through the system under these scenarios or a situation that might help us understand how it's being administered now and how it would be under the full integration?
Yeah, so I think one of the best examples, and Trevor, you can jump in, but I think one of the best examples is we have what's called specialty courts. There's a mental health court and there's called a recovery court. We oversee the recovery court, which is for individuals struggling with substance abuse. And they cover the mental health court, so the specialty court. And when you have a name like Bear River Mental Health and Bear River Health Department, it's confusing for the public. We oftentimes get clients that come different places. But even for those individuals that work closely with us, it's just going to be a better situation for the courts. And I thought I saw the sheriff come in, and even for down in corrections, if they have one entity that they can say, we have an individual, we need your help, whether it's with mental health or substance abuse, it's just so much easier to have one case manager down there that can make a referral regardless of what the diagnosis might be or what the issue is, rather than be like, are we calling the right bear, right? Are we calling the right agency for us to help this individual? And so I think in justice-involved individuals, it becomes a lot easier for the courts, for law enforcement to say, we know that we're going to the right. We don't know where to go. That's not their job, but we know who we need to call. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, would you say that would increase the efficiency of those offices in terms of avoiding redundancy or having to do another call? I know that was one of the goals stated originally.
Yeah.
And then the second part of that question is the individual. What's the impact of maybe someone being able to get help quicker or going through the system sooner?
Yeah, so
either financially or just well-being of the county.
So sometimes we've had individuals say that they have the primary diagnosis is substance abuse, and they're on Medicaid, right? And we're going through the process of working with them through their substance abuse, and they go through recovery, right? And now they're fully recovered, but it doesn't mean that their underlying primary mental health diagnosis is completely gone. And before, we were kind of a little bit torn in, like, do you continue the treatment, or now do we make the referral over to Bear River Mental Health, because now it's strictly mental health and we're the substance abuse side of that. Now if you're under one umbrella, it just says you continue care with the provider that you're having this success with, and we continue to allow them to work in that way. And so I think it provides greater continuity for some individuals to continue with the person that they built a trusting relationship that they've had success with in their overall efforts to improve their outcomes. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had one more question on, for example, and maybe Trevor might be able to answer this even better. I don't know whether with this receiving center that's coming in and with this additional dollars, is that kind of built in that as we take on that receiving center, or are we possibly looking at more dollars?
Are you talking about operations of the receiving center?
Operations, all, different things like this. Are we talking that this gets us combined and then we're probably gonna have to add some later when the receiving center gets going, or?
So the receiving centers for mental health and substance use, more mental health crisis, but there will be substance use coming in. It's funded by state. And so for the building, we were awarded through the state the funds for the building. Right now, it looks like we'll be paying for some of it with our own money as well. We didn't get all the money that we needed to make the building whole as far as financially. And then we get ongoing funds from the state to run the staff, essentially. And as the years progress, that becomes lower and we take on more of the risk of running that. So no, there won't be any more money asked from the county to support it. It would be either through Medicaid profits or through other profits on grants, if there are some. So the counties wouldn't be asked to pony up any more money for the receiving center.
Well, you're telling me that you've looked into all this stuff and these are our hopes, and we still may have to evolve into some surprise, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. We've had the discussions with the state as far as ongoing funds, that at some point, the state may say, we're not funding receiving centers anymore. I think right now, that's not the case, but down the road, if the budget was to shrink, I know, for instance, Northeastern built a receiving center, but they don't have funds to essentially run it. And so they have a new building, but no staff. And so that's kind of up in the air as far as they're concerned, but we were funded statutorily to have the funds for this receiving center. So majority of it's mental health, but there is a substance use aspect. And going back to what Jordan said, having one entry point, one organization overseeing those individuals coming in instead of having it in a bifurcated system where we're trying to coordinate with the health department with substance use, it does make it more seamless and I think easier for individuals who come into the receiving center to understand who they're going to during that time frame and when they leave.
Thank you.
Yep.
Trevor, while you're there, I was in a meeting with you last week, and so I got an update, a status update. I know it doesn't necessarily have to do this, but do you mind giving us a status update of the receiving center?
So yeah, if you go and see, it's on about 1900 North, 2nd West. It's right behind Murdoch Chevrolet. It used to be Axtell. And so they put it's all framed. They've got the roof done. They're working on an interior, plumbing and electrical. They've wrapped it. It's not Tyvek. They did something else. I can't remember what they called it. But so there should be sheetrocking in the next couple of weeks. The windows should be going in by the end of the month.
Is that the unique colored one right now?
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't stay that color.
No. Well, I told them that we could put turquoise around and call it the health department. But so yeah, it'll be covered. It's going to be a rock exterior, like a grayish rock with a lot of windows in it, just for natural light into the areas that the clients will be in. So we're hoping. We kind of asked him because we've got to get staff hired. And that's been one of the biggest challenges, I think, for the other centers throughout the state. It's hiring 24/7 nurses and medical staff. And so they said, hopefully by June. So we get funded. Our funding starts again July 1st. And so they went and promised us, which I understand from a contractor standpoint, but we're hoping July 1st we're going. That's a hope. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks, Trevor.
Be good to get the exact dollar amount, what our share is before we vote on it, if possible.
We can do that and take a vote next time. Do you want to do that?
I think the percentage is based on population.
It's based on, it'll be the same as the Bragg percentages, what we
Yeah.
pay to Bragg, which I thought was about 65%, 65, but yeah, I don't know for sure.
Is that something you could provide by January 27th? Yeah. And we can vote on it in that meeting? Okay.
Okay,
So,
we'll table
okay.
that.
We'll continue that.
Personally, I would like to at least, when they go to these other, you'll be meeting with the other two counties before we meet again, right? Yeah. I just want to let you know my favorable vote will occur. So I don't know if you can take that to where we're looking at it positively and just gonna have one question answered and then be able to move on it, so.
Okay, thanks, everyone. All right. Diana.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I bring two hardships from last year before you. They both come with no recommendation for approval, as both were information non-compliant. You got the PDFs all right?
Yep.
And so if you have any questions for me, or if you want some more information?
I don't think so. They were both pretty
Yeah,
clear cut that they had not provided what you asked them for.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would move that we support the recommendation because of the lack of compliance on both of them. On last one with 22 and
14.
last one with 14. that we go ahead and support the auditor's office and deny.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we deny both of the hardship cases that are before us. Is there any further discussion? Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you, and I see you've got your signature forms, if you'll
I'm
give
getting
them to
them done right
Bryson,
now.
and I'll get them from him in the morning. Thank you so much.
Hannah. You pass these to Bryson, please. Okay, we're to public hearings. I would entertain a motion for the setting public hearings.
Madam Chair, I move to set the public hearing for January 27th at approximately 5:30 for the cemetery maintenance district vacancies. The, of ordinance 2026-01, Dutson rezone, ordinance 2026-02, amendment to the Cache County Code to update the RU2, RU5 zone standards, and the ordinance 2026-03, amendment to the Cache County Code to allow for canal setback exemption and increasing lot coverage in the commercial zone.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we set the aforementioned public hearings for January 27th at approximately 5:30. Is there any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are rocking and rolling. Okay, each of you has a list of the current, this is what Andrew, the information Andrew has about our current committee assignments. And Dave mentioned some that he thought were incorrect. Let's correct all of them first, and then let's move forward. So if you look at what's under your name, if there's something that isn't listed correctly, let's get that information first.
There is one that says Water Consortium. I think that's supposed to be Waste Consortium. And I don't think we currently have a solid waste committee. I think that's part of the Waste Consortium that we're dealing with there. So we could probably eliminate that one.
Um, It has me down as the Waste Consortium Executive Committee. That is Dave Erickson at this time now. He's been assigned that one, so that would flow to Dave.
When did that happen?
Right
Voted
now.
when you were done.
Right now.
Remember that meeting you didn't attend? You voted.
We're voluntold.
So you're still on the Waste
For the
Consortium,
next
But I'm not
meeting,
on the
you don't.
exec.
but not on the exec. Okay. Okay, so that moves up to Dave. Okay.
All of mine appear to be correct.
So we're taking Water Consortium off, right? That should be waste.
Yeah. Should be waste. Okay, and then I was looking at the committees that Barbara has vacated, and we have a new person coming in, and I wanted to maybe suggest that we rearrange some of those and give some of the heavier lifts to more seasoned council members, and maybe start our new person in something a little less heavy. And one of the biggest ones I was looking at is the ordinance and policy, the OMP committee. And there are, who's all on that committee? It's Dave and Mark,
And it was Barbara.
and it was Barbara. And
And
so,
Barbara was the chair.
and Nolan, Catherine, and I are
Appropriations.
which is another, it's not as big, but it's pretty involved, especially around the budget time. And so Keegan, I don't know if you feel comfortable, if you have time, ordinance and policy meets quite a bit more often as things come up.
I'm definitely interested in it, with the caveat that I might not be able to attend every
Okay.
meeting. I just don't want to overcommit myself, so if we're okay with that, I would accept that, just.
Big decision.
Okay, if there's times when you can't be there, if you'll let the other of us have the option
For
to
sure.
go.
Yeah.
So that have 3 people there to,
Assuming the schedule would continue, we've been meeting Friday mornings.
how often? And it's
Was
not
it like
regular, is
8?
it?
8:30 once a
8:30,
month.
once a month.
Once a month?
That should be doable for the most part.
If you feel that's doable,
Yeah.
then
Perfect.
I,
Okay, so we'll put
Actually, we
Keegan.
had moved it to twice a month, but one,
Amy wanted 7 AM.
Amy,
Amy, sorry to disappoint you.
8:30.
Well, If we could negotiate 7:30 and some breakfast burritos, I'd.
So Keegan, is there another one that you would be willing to give up then in exchange for that? Something that you do that you think could be,
For the,
like maybe the Visitors Bureau or, I don't know, you look at it and see if there's something, because you have a pretty heavy load and we want to make sure that we integrate our new council member.
Yeah. I was gonna say that audit committee hasn't been that heavy.
No, it doesn't mean, it
Yeah,
meets very periodic.
As needed.
Yeah. Let me think about that for a sec.
Okay, you think about that.
I was gonna say, would it be a bad idea that we maybe just postpone this until the 20th, and maybe at that special meeting, we could talk about it?
If you guys want to do that, or,
Sandy won't be here. We could put this off till February.
well, I think we can talk about some concepts tonight, even if we don't finish it.
Get people
I'm
thinking
okay with,
about it.
putting it off, but just with the timing, there's a library board meeting tomorrow, so if I'm going to
Yes.
continue with that, no problem. But if somebody else was going to be doing it, then they would need to be ready to go for tomorrow, but.
The other one that I was going to suggest to all of you and to see what you think, I currently am liaison with the auditor's office. Catherine is liaison with finance. They're now combined. So my recommendation would be that I move the auditor down to Catherine. That she's the liaison with the auditor and the finance, and maybe put the sheriff with me, so that as we go through this next year, that we have somebody,
Yeah.
the sheriff's like half of our budget, that maybe put me as the liaison to the sheriff.
I think that's a good idea.
And then if Catherine wanted to give the recorder back up to our new person.
Yeah, recorder would be good.
That was my recommendation. And I don't know if you guys want to think about that, if you want to vote on some of them, if you want to.
Write them on here so that we can think about them.
I'd like to think about it, because there's 3 that I probably could give up, and maybe the person who takes Barbara's spot might be interested in one of those 3 more than another, so.
Okay.
And it can be a collaborative decision.
Okay.
Somebody wants Hardware Ranch. I mean,
They meet
have you
a
ever
lot.
met?
Never.
Never had a meeting.
That's funny.
They used to,
Okay.
and.
I'll go up there on the sleigh rides and see if they need anything.
Yeah.
So. The guy that runs it's in my
If we,
neighborhood.
if we get enough snow.
Yeah.
We have a spot.
The county's involvement now, I'm actually on the Northern Deer Committee.
There's a
And,
deer
the Northern Region Deer Committee,
Okay,
and, we're talking antler deer, okay? They're, we do meet, and they're actually, the Blair Stringham that came and brought the dollars for the PILT money that is affiliated a lot with the Hardware Ranch area. He's also on that committee, and so that could be combined with something that I'm already doing, so it's just a matter of just working with them. And I mean, a few weeks ago, we went up there and they were catching deer, bringing them in, drawing blood, and
so do you want to add that to your, like, so that we know for sure that that's your,
We might be
I thought-
independent
I
of
thought this
county
was a
council.
trade.
oh,
I thought we were kind of bartering and trading.
okay. What do
I
you-
was just gonna wait till Nolan didn't attend one of these meetings.
And then vote him
Vote
as
him in as chair.
chair.
Yeah, give some thought to that,
Yeah.
and then think about some of the couple of things that I've recommended, and then if you guys want to wait until the 20th to vote on that, or even the 27th, I won't be here either one of those meetings, I apologize, but I'm good with what the group wants to do. I just felt like we wanted to make sure that we don't throw someone into the deep end, and,
The County Boundary Commission that I'm on, it has been probably 4 or 5 years since we met. And that's just a
Really?
matter, all it is when they have disputes a city has disputes on annexing. They fight with each other on annexing a certain property. The last one was Logan City and Nibley. So,
That's as
Firefly
needed.
Park.
and
As
so
needed.
it doesn't happen very frequent. And it's just a matter when you do that, that you were in charge of that committee, but you work heavily with the assessor's office in that, so. But it's really, again, most things are usually worked out before then, so it isn't much there. if someone else wanted to just be ready.
Did
All right.
somebody take over Barbara's position on UAC, or does that just go back to UAC for
That
them
goes-
to
it's
reassign?
She was on USAC,
USAC.
so they'll have to
They'll
vote anew.
okay. Okay, I didn't know if that,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, are you guys comfortable with that? Then you want to just keep giving that some thought and bring it out and vote next time?
Yeah, let's look at it
Yeah.
some more.
Catherine will be in charge of both
It
of those meetings.
it is good on the liaisons that we switch around. Usually every year we've kind of switched around, so
Yeah.
to make sure we get into the different departments and.
Okay. All right, that was good on that. Open and Public Meeting Acts training. Andrew's gonna give us a few things from Robert's Rules of Order, just to, little snippets as we go. Come on. You can do it.
Say,
We do need to, I feel like as a body, we need to, whatever structure we're going to function under, whether it's complete Robert's Rules of Order, our county optional plan says we can modify that if that's what we decide on. But to just be kind of loose and not have a clear direction sometimes, I think is confusing to the public, or maybe somebody who is a parliamentarian. And so Andrew's gonna kind of guide us in a few things as we go through this next year, and
so this item, the Open and Public Meetings Act training, is a little bit different from the parliamentary procedure substance, but yes, I was planning on talking to you guys a little bit more about that on the 27th, but as it specifically pertains to parliamentary procedure, I think just making more clear about what exactly you're motioning for and who's speaking when, just, I don't know, you guys do a really good job when it comes to being cordial with each other, and I think that, I think as long as that stays the same, I think that'll keep this body functional moving forward, but always room for improvement. Anyway, in terms of the Open and Public Meetings Act training, so every year, the governing body of every county, whether that's the county commission or in this case, the county council, you guys are required to go through Open and Public Meetings Act training. All of you guys have already had exposure to this. I've already given you guys some instructions on how to access an online training to go through it. It takes 15 minutes. It's kind of painless. Anyway, if you guys would like to complete that as soon as possible and let me or Sandy know, since she is now reelected as chair and the presiding officer, that would be greatly appreciated. Do you guys have any questions?
Just this one?
Yes.
okay.
Sandy, has Kurt Webb talked to you? He gave me a book on Robert's Orders that I'm like, holy flip, I need
Yeah.
3 years to read it.
He ordered one for all of you.
He
They're
gave
down in
one
my
to all of
office.
Okay.
Yes.
But, and I really want to emphasize that we are not held to a strict Robert's Rules of Order, but to be less confusing to the public and to be more cohesive amongst ourselves, we need to, if there's parts of it that we're gonna kind of be a little more modified on, we should be clear about that so that we are, as we move forward, that structure. Even like last year when we voted for chair and vice chair, we didn't have a structure in place. This year we did. I think things like that. Like I had someone from the public say to me, that was kind of confusing, you know, that I've been in a lot of organizations and there's should be a complete structure in how you vote a new chair. And I thought, oh, you know, they're just little things like that that I think we can do as a group that'll help as we function. But we don't have, that book is not an absolute.
Yep. No, if I,
More like a guideline.
yes, if I may, so during the final meeting, final regular meeting of last year, there was discussion on passage of the budget, and there was motion made and then some sort of substitute motion, then someone made a substitute to the substitute. There's a question on how do you guys proceed? Having that thick book in front of you as a reference guide, that's when it's useful. So it's not completely something that, you know, you pack away in your office and never use. But I definitely think that it is of use. But like Sandy said, the way the optional plan phrases it is the county council shall, its proceedings shall generally be governed by Robert's Rules of Order. So take that as you will.
Yeah, and also, I know there are many of you on this council that have far more experience in meetings that are governed by Robert's Rules of Order than I do. And I'm always open to suggestions or a gentle elbow in the side if there's something I'm not doing right, so please speak up about that.
I have found that the interpretation of Robert Rules of Orders is very different from organization to organization, from county, state, Washington DC, they can't even spell it. I mean, but they were, you know, they were tick for tack and definitions of every word that goes back there and to try to catch somebody on something, but it is very different, even with a few weeks ago when we had the substitute back and go. The more simple that you make it, the better it runs.
I agree. Let's make it simple and do one meeting a month like Rich County.
Or one every third week or something.
I'm glad Sandy's the bona fide chair now that it's legit and followed and confusion-free.
We followed the regulation.
If you ever need to review game film and do like a John Madden analysis, and if you did something wrong, you can use me as a less effective example.
Oh, boy.
That's fine.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Okay, the special election is January 17th, that's this Saturday. I hope we can all be there. I know Joanne is here, she's one of the candidates. Is Jeffrey Wallentyne here? Is that you? Okay. I wondered if that might be you. Good luck to both of you, and one of you will be here with us on the 20th.
Where, the location?
At Ridgeline High School at 10 o'clock. Yep.
8 to 10.
Yeah,
No, it's 10.
it's
the day
10,
on
and
the
you'll,
Hills at 10.
and we don't, none of us will get to vote, so, unless you, because none of us live in Barbers District, so we can be there to support. UAC Day on the Hill, if you are available and plan to be there, I hope you've let Andrew know.
I had a question about that. So last time, I think Catherine set up some appointments from around 10 to noon. Is someone doing that again? Are we going to try to
Yeah,
meet
I
with
was-
our state legislators?
So I was going to speak to that, because that's what I did last year. It's the second day of the session.
Yeah.
So it's kind of early in the session, and we had a really productive meeting with them. I don't know, I don't want it to be just a social call with our legislators, since we had such a productive meeting. I was gonna just look to you to guidance of what you wanted, what we wanted to do as a group. It's,
I wish this was later in the session.
yeah, it feels like it's,
You know,
yeah, it
into
feels like it's
February,
very early in the session since,
Middle of February would be a wonderful one.
Yeah.
Right. Then you know what
Because
bills you're reviewing and you can give your opinion on.
being the second day.
up in February to say, okay, we have some concerns, would you meet with us?
And I'm sure they would, but,
they will.
but yeah, I don't wanna waste their time with just sitting in their office and be like, what's up?
So there was a couple of committee meetings that I was a part of today with UAC, and I know Dave was in one of them, and Sandy was in the other. I think maybe Dave and I were in both of them together, but in the second one, the Natural Resources Committee, there's already some strong opinions formed on some legislation that we might consider having a conversation with our legislators about, but other than that, I mean, I'm with you. It's too early
Yeah.
for, I think, the impact that the county's
Don't know
Day
what
on the
has
Hill can
momentum
have.
yet. Yeah, we don't know.
And so I would like to take that back to UAC to say, hey, let's schedule this next year, at least halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, before, it seems like they at least have 10 days into the session on other, Day on the Hill, so.
There are a pocket full of bills right now that didn't make the cut on time at their last session. I think that are gonna be, they were gonna be right on the forefront. They got the early numbers. I think they're gonna go bang, 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 because they were such favorable last time, just didn't make the time cut.
Yeah, they do that at
So-
the beginning, a lot of times pass.
But most of those are pretty good.
Yeah, and I know we were able to meet with our state legislators in December in here, and so we did accomplish a lot. I was gonna ask if there's anything on that list, the agenda that we didn't get through, or maybe something that we had to hurry over that we might wanna revisit. That's the only thing I could think of why those might be useful.
Every meeting that I am in or that I hear people talk about, the number one priority of the speaker and the governor and everybody is property taxes. And I think we did a really good job of describing to our legislators where we are at and how property tax works, and hopefully gave them a perspective that it's not gonna, I just don't see a one-size-fits-all for the state. I know there might be some issues in other places and, issues that affect us, but I hope that that we were able to convey that to them. And if we need to keep saying those messages, I think that's what I heard from UAC too, is make sure your legislators understand how your property taxes work and how, even the fact that last year we had raised property taxes 12% and 80% of the people in the county, their taxes went down. That, it just is, it's more complex than just a straight property tax increase. So I think that's the message we need to keep hammering to as things come up. We need to keep watching those property tax bills
So what's our consensus on
on the Day on the Hill.
Day on the Hill?
Do you want to meet with the legislator? I won't be there. I'll be gone.
Wait till February, mid-February, like Dave suggested.
I think that there might be some Thursday days when some of us might be down there, that we could just get a group and arrange a time later,
Okay.
when I guess things are ramping up.
And I suggested to Catherine that maybe she contact all of them just so that they know. We know this is Day on the Hill, but we were so grateful for the meeting we just had with you. We're not gonna
Okay.
take your time.
I
Yes.
think someone would say, they'd be favorable, say, hey.
Yeah, if they wanna meet
we'd
with
like to
you,
meet
they-
with us.
Yeah, and if they want to,
They
I'm
invite
not
us,
opposed-
sure.
I'm not opposed to it, but yeah, I don't wanna take
Give
the
them that
time.
option.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Sheriff Jensen
We're
had
here, we're
something.
available.
Shelley with
I'll throw an option out there if it's just you guys who want to meet with them. So every year, the Sheriff's Association, we host a breakfast for the legislatures. And we're gonna do it like the first week of February. And our legislators are already coming to that breakfast. So if you guys wanted to set something up, I'm already gonna have them corralled in one place in the Capitol. I'm already expecting a meeting. So if you want that date, I'm not sure what it's going to be yet.
Will you let us know? That'd be
Yeah,
great.
that's an option, because I'll already have
Yeah.
not only ours, but several of them already.
Are we invited to breakfast?
Sure.
It's those breakfast burritos, I'm telling you, that's what does it. That's what gets people there.
Extra handcuffs.
You're welcome to it. I don't know the date, but that's an option that we'll at least have several,
looking
not only
awesome.
ours, but several
Yes.
of them cornered, so.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
And you'll kind of know what's going on with the session as it gets a few weeks into it. Maybe there's something that comes up that you didn't know about.
Yeah, and as you hear those things too, make sure we're aware, if you will. Things move so fast.
There's a lot more coming than just property taxes.
I know. And I think things move
We're
quickly.
already working on some of those right now, so.
Okay.
200 and almost 250 bills?
Already?
Already 250 numbered.
Wow.
There's about $1 million worth of mandates on sheriffs right now that haven't even, they're in draft form, so.
They'll fund them, right? They'll send funding out to the counties for that?
Yeah.
We're hoping they don't even exist.
Oh, okay. That's even better.
There were
That's even
several
better.
things. They talked about today, several things. Were you in the Public Safety Policy Steering Committee meeting this morning?
I listened to it for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about having somebody has to be cybersecurity trained in every sheriff's department, every municipality, every police department. I mean, they're just unfunded mandates that we just have to keep in.
Patrol car needs to have a fingerprint machine to the tune of $3,000 each, and statewide, there's 7,700 law enforcement. It's like an $8 million fiscal load
Yeah,
that they're not funding, so
Yeah.
we've got our work cut out for us on the public safety side.
Yeah.
okay, thank you, Sheriff.
Okay, so the consensus is I'll reach out to them, tell them we'll be there and see what they would like. If
Yeah.
they wanna meet with us, then, at least they know that we're there and available. Okay, thanks.
Okay, council member reports. We've been off for the holidays. Does anyone have something that they would like to report to us? I know, Mark, you're going to the library board meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, the library board meeting tomorrow. Andrew and I are working through trying to get the North Park Interlocal Committee established, or not established, but kick-started again, get them actually going. We have a land interest in the ice arena, and it's been a long time since they've met to have any discussion about, direction and future. So I think that's a good thing. So Andrew and I have been in conversation there. And then, and so that'll happen sometime probably before our
Say it
next
again, that
meeting.
was the
I hope.
ice arena?
But, yeah, that's where the ice arena is located. It's the
Their
interlocal between
their
North Park,
$80,000
North
a year
Logan,
is
Hyde
dried
Park,
up, by the way.
and Cache County. Well, we can talk about that.
No,
I mean, that's
it's
part
better
of
be
it,
dried
right?
out.
That is part of it, because the last time they met was pre the success, the manifestation of the success of the endowment that the ice arena operates under. So it's been a long time since they've met.
Good. Look for an update on that. Dave?
Wonderful, Chris. I appreciate the break. It was a shorter break though this year, by the way. The date from when we met.
Oh, I thought it was longer.
No,
You're being
but it's,
facetious. I'm too liberal.
but it's been good, and, but I'm here, and it's gonna be a, shorter on dollars at the state, and so I think it's gonna be a pretty hot legislative, meeting this year as they get together. I think things are gonna be wild, so.
Catherine, did you?
I just had that, I jumped ahead with the Dan Hill issue, so, thank you.
Nolan?
I'll just take this moment to say thanks to Taylor. This is getting close to your last one, right? We'll still invite you after the others,
You're always welcome.
but thanks for all you've done, so.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for that side, and in the planning and zoning, you've noticed that we've got the RU2 and the RU5 coming for,
Yeah.
and so the planning and zoning worked on that. We are working on the bigger subdivision too, so I just got an email just before I come in here from Jason Wynn about the wildlife urban interface and what we're looking at there. If you were at that meeting at the planning and zoning when it was debated as to how many we do next to that area, so they're still debating that, but they did pass it because our moratorium is over. So
Yeah.
we hope to have that in before long. I think, in fact, it will be for the January 27th. We'll discuss that, but be thinking, I'll forward that email from Jason to all of you as well as the planning and zoning so that you can look at what's being talked about there. And other than that, that's all I've got.
Keegan?
I wanted to talk a little bit about COSAC and the Greenbelt tax money that's being returned to us. We've talked about in the past of being open to COSAC overseeing that the way that they do with the open space bond, whereupon they hear different projects and make funding recommendations to us. Talked to our treasurer about combining the Greenbelt money with the open space bond, and that sounds like that's the direction that's going. I think some in this group have expressed interest for putting that responsibility on COSAC. Just to give you an idea, I did request some of the amounts. 2024, 850,000, 2023, 582,000, 2022, 1.4 million, 2021, 1.2 million. So this will open up a lot of funding opportunities for those projects. I won't go into a ton of detail, but I just want to talk high level real quick on that. So I did learn that those funds must be committed to a project, not necessarily spent, but committed within 5 years. And if it's not, it gets returned to the Leray McAllister Fund. And then,
And then it goes statewide.
Yeah.
right.
And then that opens up to applications.
Yeah, so we just need to kind of juggle the money and where it's
The
going
timing.
based on the timing. Yeah, exactly. So I think we probably need a motion to make that official, so maybe we can get that on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
So the other thing I wanted to mention is last year we talked about our goals. I liked that. I think that's one of the goals was to start the budget process earlier. I know we had a change of the guard with executive and stuff, but that's a goal I'd like to see in 2026. So if everyone's open to it, I think that's something we could do again, state our goals and maybe revisit those on a quarterly basis. I want to say thanks to the group. I'm learning how to better conclude my statements because a lot of places I go, I'm used to getting interrupted. This is one of the places I go where I don't get interrupted. So I really appreciate the respect that's been shown to me, especially as a new council member. The last thing I wanted to mention is I got an email about the warming center and there's a request for funds. I know there's a lot of ways to solve problems besides money. You know, there's volunteerism, there's alternatives. I'd like to look into that and I'm interested in taking a tour of the facility. And if anyone wanted to jump on that with me, just reach out to me individually and maybe we can coordinate a visit together so we're not all trying to go at different times. And that's all.
Okay, thanks, Keegan. And I think that I really like the idea of making it official through a motion that we take our Greenbelt money and put it to COSAC. There's no reason to duplicate an application process or for us to, as a body, to be trying to figure out what to do with that money, where they can bring us recommendations, and we then do still oversee that. So it's not giving up our responsibility, but I think they're better set up to take those applications.
Agreed.
So I like that. I just wanted to say, I know that we had, it's been a few months ago that we talked about solar. I've asked Andrew to put together some things from, some ordinances from other counties, and Nolan and I talked about maybe meeting with some people from Development Services and our planning and zoning, and maybe coming up with something and bringing a recommendation to the council. I know the general consensus was that it was not a great fit for our county, but I think we need to put something in code, and we need to look at what there might be some options that would be acceptable, but let's get that done. I would say by the end of February if we could, so that as projects come along, we already have some guidance and that we can give an answer to the ones that are already here.
I did provide an example of a county that has it. Do you want me to bump that to the top of your inbox just to
Yes, that
refresh?
would be
Would that be
great.
helpful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Madam Chair?
yes.
Nolan mentioned some gratitude to Taylor for his role, but could we review the process now with the vacancy in the attorney's seat? Could you review the process, please?
Yes, absolutely. That process is found in state code for finding a vacancy for county attorney. And that is in 20A-1-509.1. So it has all these different scenarios of whether there's 2 years left or so on. In our situation, vacant office has an unexpired term of less than 2 years. And so when those conditions are met, when the vacancy occurs, which per my letter, I'll be done February 8th, the county legislative body, that's you, Sandy, the chair, you'll give notice to the county clerk and to the county central committee of the same political party. I'm a Republican, so that would be the Republican Party. And the county legislative body will invite the committee to submit the names of 3 nominees to fill the vacancy. So the county central committee will accept applications for people who want to fill out that year. And if they receive more than 3, then they will meet together and they'll select 3. If there's fewer than 3 or 3, they will just forward those directly to you. At that point, within 30 days, they'll submit those names to you as nominees. And within 45 days after the vacancy occurs, you, the county legislative body, will appoint one of those nominees to fill out the unexpired term.
We'll need to do an interim acting attorney between February 8th and when we actually accept that name, correct?
Yes,
Like there has to be somebody that is designated
The acting county attorney is just the senior member
of the attorney's office.
It just defaults to whoever that.
That's a default, we don't have to designate that.
Andrew is.
I was going to say, according to state code, I believe that the acting attorney between the resignation and the picking of essentially the 3 names submitted by the political party, during that time, the county legislative body has the duty, according to state code, to pick one of the deputies serving as a deputy attorney to then appoint them as the acting county attorney, if they're willing, of course.
That's in 28-1-509.3. Until the vacancy is filled as provided with what we just discussed, and the new county attorney is qualified, the county legislative body may appoint an interim replacement to fill the vacant office by following the procedures. Appointing a deputy county or district attorney to serve as acting county attorney if there are at least 3 deputies in the office that has a vacancy. So our office does have at least 3 deputies, so county legislative body will just appoint one of the deputies that are currently in the office to serve as that acting.
And that is consistent with what we've done in the past.
Correct. That's
So-
in state code.
Yeah.
So we meet on the February 10th, is our first,
That would be a great opportunity.
yeah, on February 10th.
So
we could do
February
that.
10th, we meet
As a council.
to do an interim,
We'll just name an acting,
the acting,
Yeah.
and then we would receive
except,
from the central committee,
First meeting after March 7th.
the first meeting after March 7th, we would receive from the central committee 3 names,
and we
and we
would,
would appoint from those 3 names.
an
Is that
interim.
an open and public meeting?
Open public meeting?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's, so it's not. Do we
It'll
do
be
it
during
early?
our council meeting.
Yeah,
Just for a regular
we-
council meeting?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
cool, thanks.
thank you, Taylor, and thank you again. We appreciate you. Okay, anything else that anybody needs to talk about or say? Accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Done. Okay. I know. Did you want to stay, Dave?
No.
Sorry.